Hey everybody, I've got an update on this heavy Chevy. Got a lot done on it. I put the complete dash in it. This is an original. This is a dash I showed in the last video. This is an original base model non-air dash, which this car originally came with factory air, but I converted it back over to non-air. I have all the pieces. I have every piece to put the air conditioner back in it. I saved everything, but I like this setup better. And as you can see, if we get up real close here, over here where the clock is, I put a tachometer in. They sell one. You can get them through Ground Up, and it's a little. It's like back in the old days, back when I first got started doing all this stuff. I like to build sleepers. And I put my autometer gauges in. There's the factory. Right there's a better shot. There's the factory AM FM 8-track stereo. That's quite a radio. So anyways, and I got a nice factory wheel on it, steering wheel. Jay came over yesterday and picked up the dash that I'm going to use. He's dyeing it because it's green, but it's an original dash and pad, and that's gonna really be nice when I get that on there. So this is all original stuff right here, with the exception of that tachometer and those autometer gauges. That's all original stuff right there. The speedometer, steering column, steering wheel, all the brake pedal assembly, accelerator pedal assembly. It's all original. And so then we get over here on. Let me grab my light here. You gotta be careful what button I push here. So anyways, under the hood, we've made a lot of advancements under the hood too. There's what it's going to look like. The only thing I got to do is get the sticker for the air cleaner. I got the brakes on. I got the power brake booster, and I got the master cylinder on. And it's all pumped up, and the brakes are all good. And it's got really good brakes on it. It's got power disc brakes. Everything's new in the brakes. And then I also got the windshield wipers, as you can see right there. I got all that. That's all hooked up. Everything works. Windshield transmission, that all works. Everything works in there. And then, if you'll remember the last time I showed you that stainless piece right there, that's the factory base model stainless. And I cleaned it up. I haven't polished it yet, but I cleaned it up. I'm going to tell you what, that piece is nice. There's no dents in it. It fits really good. So, now that's the original dash pad right there. It's pretty nice, but it needs to be re-dyed or something. It's lost its luster. But the one thing about it is, see, this is stereo right here. It doesn't have, in the middle, there's no grill in the middle. See? This was a stereo car, stereo dash pad, and the one that Jay's painting for me, that's a stereo one too, which is, they're kind of hard to find. But see, there's the wiper transmissions right here. It's all in, and she's coming right along. I got all the headlights are working. All the wire harnesses are all hooked up. That's another thing I did. I don't know if I can get a picture of that or not, but down there, like I said before, when you let these cars sit for like a year, and then you get them out, dig them out, take them out and drive them, well, next thing you know, you're sitting on the side of the road because the points either got rusty or the condenser went out. That's happened to me many times. I I had that yellow 66 Chevelle that's in one of these videos. I used to leave that set for like a year at a time. Then I'd get it out in the summertime, maybe 2 years, and I get it out and I start driving that thing. First thing happened, I'm on the side of the road with no ignition. So that's when I learned to start putting these HEIs in. I buy new ones from General Motors because once you put a brand new HEI in, that thing's it's gonna be good for 10, 12, 15 years before you ever have any trouble with it. So that's definitely the way to go with these cars, is just get rid of that points ignition, put a HEI in it, be done with it. And they fit in these cars. Now, I've never done an HEI in a 66 or a 67, but 68 and on, these 68, 69, 70, 1s and 2s, they're designed for big blocks. The 66 and 7s aren't. I mean, I've put motors in them. I've tried to work on them. They are tight to work on. But these cars here, when you get up into the 68, 69, 70, 1s and 2s, why, there's so much room. I can get down there and unhook the engine off the transmission without any problem whatsoever. It's just the easiest can be. There's plenty of room. The old 66 and 7s, you got to get underneath it with an extension and a swivel to get to the transmission bolts. Near impossible to get to the motor mount bolts. So it's just, I also tested the ignition. The starter cranks up, so I just got to put all the fluids in it. That's the next thing I'm going to do. Got to fill the transmission up, got to fill the radiator up, put power steering fluid in it, and put some gas in the tank. And now that I've got the brakes, and I've also got the emergency brake hooked up too, so now with all the brakes and emergency brake, I can start this bad boy and sit here and listen to it idle and just have grins on my face from ear to ear. So anyways, I wanted to do this update. I know it's not very long, and I'll probably do some slideshow on it yet. So if you would subscribe, I appreciate it, and have a good one. And as I continue to update this car, I don't know if I'm going to get it in the body shop this spring because I have a friend of mine that has a 65 Mustang GT. It's a fastback, and he wants to get his car done. So I decided just to go, since his car, all he needs to do is paint the outside of it, I decided just to go ahead and let him go and take my spot, and then I'll take the one after that, because Jay's got a pretty tight schedule. You know, he schedules them in, and then, you know, does them, and then brings the next one in, does it, brings the next one in. So, and that'll give me a chance. I want to put the exhaust on this. I want to get it to where it's drivable, get the bumpers, the grill. I want to get the whole car fitted, get everything fitted, get all the tail lights in it, and I'm going to buy a new tail light harness, and you know, get the whole car where it's drivable. I'm probably going to get a license tag for it and put insurance on it and drive it around a little bit, and try to set the front end as good as I can, you know, as far as alignment, but which I've done that before. It's not too hard. So anyways, also I got the front ends all fitted up. I got the hood on it and got the front headlight extensions on. The headlight extensions were just a pain. I had to go through, I don't know how many sets of them. I kept having to meet Tracy halfway and kept getting more and more of them. And finally I got two that really fit good. These ones got a really good fit on them. They fit good on the sides, you know. They fit really good. The hood fits good to it. You know, you got good hood gap there. You go over here to the other side, and this one's the same way. It's got really good hood gap, and the fender gap on it. It's really good. And they really fit up nice, you know. That's the best two that I could get, because I put some of them on there and I didn't get any kind of gaps or anything. The hood, good hood gap all the way down through there. That's all looking good. It's got a good hood gap there. And you get over here, it's got a good hood gap. And then you go all the way back, and it's got a good hood gap all the way. This hood really, this is AMD sheet metal right here. And I'm telling you what, I had trouble with the passenger fender. I had to take one back, but I'm gonna tell you right now, that AMD sheet metal right there fits really nice. And I suppose it helps that you got factory doors and quarter panels, because your gap starts at the rear of the door. You get that right, you get the rocker right. See, the rear of this door, the gap is phenomenal. Those are factory gaps all the way down. And I'm telling you what, you just can't get any better than that. Even professionals that, you just can't get any better than that's a good factory fit right there. So then when you come up here, you got a good factory fit all the way down. And then you get over here to the hood, and you got a good factory fit on that hood. I mean, that hood's nice. And that's a real decent hood too. I'm telling you, it ain't got no issues with it. So AMD sheet metal, and Goodmark sheet metal, which I've never used it, but I've heard horror stories about it, and I've heard good stories about it. So I have no opinion about it other than what I've heard. But you pay twice as much for Goodmark. A Goodmark fenders, these AMDs I paid $284 a piece. The Goodmark fenders are over $450 or $480 a piece. That hood cost me $425, and a Goodmark hood's close to $1,000. So, I don't know exact prices on them, but I know they're expensive. And I've heard all kinds of stories about them. Some good and some not so good. So, but anyways, this is another aspect of it. And I put a trunk lid on it too. Yeah, that's an AMD trunk lid. And I'm going to tell you what, that trunk lid fits nice too. It's got good gaps. Of course, there's no rubber seal in it, so, it's a little high right here, right there. But that's because the other corner is low. And once you put your bump stops in and you set your latch in the middle and you put your rubber in, you're going to have a really nice fit all the way around. I'll probably go to Ames and get a rubber, because the Ames rubbers fit better than any of the rest of them. They're smaller. They're not as soft as the factories, but they're smaller rubbers. Unlike soft seal, are bigger, and soft seals will make the trunk stick up. And it just makes it hard to close and everything else. So that's an AMD trunk, and that trunk was only like $209. There again, AMD has good fit, and they got really reasonable prices. So they turned out nice, So anyways, there's a good shot of it right there. I don't know if I can get the whole thing in or not. Yeah, I guess I can. Yeah. So there's a good shot of the whole car, and she's coming along. Now I also have for this car, you see those are just roll around wheels that's on it, but I've got a set of NOS torque thrust, the old original American Racing torque thrust, the original straight spoke ones, 15x7. And I'm going to put those on because that's the period. This car right here is in the period of those wheels. Those wheels there were many cars that had those wheels. I had a 66 Nova SS that the guy bought brand new down in Lynette, Alabama. And I bought that car, and he bought a set of used torque thrust and put on that car, and I got those original wheels, but they were 14x6. Of course, it was a 66 Nova Super Sport L79 car, and that car is pictured in one of the videos too. It just shows it where it's been sitting in his yard for years. He bought that 66 Nova SS L79. First thing he did with it was race it, and he raced it and raced it and raced it, and then he modified it, and but it was still quite a car though, because I got got the paperwork with it, got all the pictures of the racing and everything. So it was quite a car to get, and that's sitting down in Marlboro, Ohio now. A guy named Charlie Anderson bought it, and he's restored the whole thing, put all GM sheet metal on it, put original GM, a whole complete GM floor in it. He's got quite a car, and it's a true L79. But anyways, that's past history. It has nothing to do with today. this is what today is all about. So anyways, you guys have a good one. And this will probably be interjected into the video, edited in somewhere. So, all right. Talk to you later. Bye.